Hi, I'm Chris Ivy, Director of Auctions with Heritage Sports Collectibles. I'm sitting here with David Hall to my left, and we're really excited to be with him today to talk to him about his amazing T206 collection, amassed over 10 years and consisting of over 5,000 different T206 combinations. David, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
And tell me a little bit about it. How did you get started with this?
Well, in 2009, there was an auction company, now no longer in business, that had the supposed St. Louis find, as they called it, of drum backs, drum being one of the rarest of all T206 backs. And they had 32 cards. And of the 32, 12 of them were unique. The only known example of that player with a drum back. And I looked at it and thought about it, and I thought, this is special. T206 is one of the big sets of all time. It's an iconic set in our hobby, and I thought this was a great opportunity. So I made my mind up to bid, and the prices were such that I bought all 32 cards, just bought them all.
Right.
The auction company must have thought I was crazy, but I did buy them all and paid for them. And I then thought, you know what? This is a pretty good start to a back set. Maybe I'll do the back set. Then I started talking to people about it, and people were telling me things like it's never been done, it's a lifetime project, and I thought that just made me more interested in doing it. And as I got more involved and began to realize how rare some of these backs are, I just became more and more obsessed, and it was literally a daily chase for over 10 years.
So it all started with those 32 drum backs that you purchased in 2009.
Yes.
When you made the decision to purchase those, did you understand at that point what back collecting would entail? There's over 5,500 different combinations. Is that correct?
A little over 5,200.
Okay. And were you aware of it at that point?
I was aware of the rare backs because whenever one would appear in auction, the auction company would make a big deal of it. I didn't realize how difficult it would be. I didn't realize how truly rare a lot of the backs are, and how much time and effort it would take. But the more I got into it, the more it fed my excitement, and the more determined I became.
So prior to that point, was there really a roadmap for you to follow, or did you do the research on your own and kind of develop that roadmap of the combinations?
Well, there are a few books that have been written. There's a pamphlet which tried to describe it. I really had to create my own spreadsheet, and there are some experts that have studied it for decades, way longer than me. And I started my own research project, and literally would go through all the auctions and eBay. When I went to the National Sports Convention, I would look at every T206 card and write down which back it was. And I looked at over 100,000 cards. Another expert, Scott Reeder, did a similar thing, and the PSA population report, of course, breaks it up somewhat. And so we've seen things, and it's all pretty consistent. You know, over 50% of the cards, a little over, are Piedmont backs.
Right.
28% are Sweet Caporal. And then, you know, the drums and uses are really rare. Red Hindu's rare. Broadleaf 460 is off the charts rare. And we all came to the same conclusions based on what we saw. So yeah, there was some research, and I tried to push that forward.
So the research is pretty amazing that you were able to amass with some other collectors as far as the percentage of you know, how many common backs there really are. And it's come to be known that about 80% of the T206s out there are common backs. So, you know, it gives collectors just an insight into really how scarce these, you know, 14 additional backs really are, only making 20% of the set. What you've been able to do here in a 10-year period is amass over 5,000 of these different combinations. It's really incredible. I don't think it can ever be duplicated.
Thank you. And I've been told that nobody's had 3,000 different, and I have a little over 5,000. It's a set I wanted to complete, but at my age, I probably can't do it. I have mixed emotions about selling. I'm probably selling too early because the story hasn't been told. The rarity of these cards hasn't been fully appreciated yet, in my opinion, but it's my time in life to sell the set.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as this information comes out, more people become aware of it. I think we'll look back in a decade and realize how scarce these combinations really are, and the desirability, I'd imagine, is only going to increase.
Well, when I used to go to the National, if I saw one or two broadleaf 460s, any player, I would feel I'd gone to heaven. They're that rare, and I would just buy them unless somebody was insane on the price.
Right. So over 5,000 T206s in the collection. Do you have a favorite?
My very favorite card is the Ty Cobb with the Ty Cobb back. When I was a kid, there were two people that were the pinnacle of human existence that aren't now. One was George Washington. We were taught he was the father of our country. Now my kids weren't really taught that way. And the other was Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth. But Ty Cobb was, the most hits, the highest batting average, an animal on the base pass, played with intensity, maybe never seen since. And the Ty Cobb back, very rare. Before the Lucky 7 find, which was great, there were maybe only 10 or 12 known. When they were 30, 40,000, I got the wild idea in my head, I was just gonna buy them all.
Right.
Okay, they're $30,000, $40,000, I'll just buy all of them, all 12 of them. Then I finally bought one though for about $100,000, and I thought, well, maybe I won't buy them all. And plus I was really focused on the entire set at the time, but it is by far maybe the coolest baseball card in existence. Ty Cobb with the Ty Cobb back.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. Is there any advice that you would give to anyone that's thinking about undertaking this type of collection?
I'll answer it in two parts. First, general collectibles advice. And obviously I know a lot about coins and other collectibles, but the people who have been successful, which I define as having fun, not having bad experiences, doing okay financially in collectibles, have done one of two things, or one of two things. The first is intense specialization. Okay. So you really focus on something, as I've done on T206 backs, or Harry Bass did on gold coins, or a particular series. So you're in love with 54 Topps baseball, that's your set. The other thing is the concept of forever. What is the iconic item? Okay, a Babe Ruth bat, a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle card, Ty Cobb cards. Ty Cobb is forever. The Hall of Fame is forever. So if you're in sports, think about the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And think about an intense focus, a specialization, what you like, not what I tell you to buy, but what you like. If you collect what you like, you'll do better, you won't have bad experiences, you'll pay the right price. So focus, and also remember, the iconic items are always the iconic items.
That's right. I'm sure you gave it a lot of thought to come to this point. What made you decide to sell through heritage auctions?
The decision to sell was based on my age, my estate planning, etc. Heritage was an easy decision for me. I've known the principles of heritage since the early 70s. Done tens of millions of dollars worth of business with them, probably 100 million. I have supreme confidence in Heritage and their financial standing. Look, results are important, and Heritage gets great results, and I knew they would. The cards, though, do speak for themselves, but part of results is actually getting paid. This is millions of dollars, and so I want to be paid, and I want to be paid on time, and I have 100% confidence that with Heritage, I don't have to worry about the money at all. I also have some pride in what I've done, and I wanted to present it in a great way. And Heritage catalogs are the best in the hobby by far. And Heritage, I bought from many different categories from Heritage, and it's very easy to buy what you want in a Heritage auction. It makes it really easy on the buyer, which helps the seller. Secondly, the way things are presented, especially the Heritage website, is just fantastic. 100% Heritage has the best collectibles website in the world. Period, end of story. It's what you need to know. It's there. You don't need to go to any other website, in my opinion. It is absolutely the best. And I buy from everybody. Okay, I'm not a monogamous buyer. I buy from everybody, from the biggest, Sotheby's and Christie's, to the small eBay sellers. I buy from everybody. And Heritage is the easiest experience for me and has absolutely the best technology and website.
The auctions that are coming up in 2019 that are going to be offered through Heritage, why was it broken up in the manner for the 3 different auctions? Tell us a little bit about each auction.
The first auction is kind of an intro to back collecting. There's some real rarities, including some, Walter Johnson rarities. There's a smattering of different grades. It's kind of an intro to back collecting. The second auction, I thought, look, I focused on the backs, but I also was an obsessive upgrader. If I had a 7 and an 8 came up, I tried to buy the 8. And if you take my 523 cards and register it as a T206 set, even though I focus on the backs, the condition is so good that it's one of the better sets. So let's take the best example of, my best red tie cob, my best green tie cob, my best of everything, and see what that set looks like. That's the second auction. The third one is, I've been told that I have the only complete sovereign set ever. I'm not sure that that's correct, but so I put all sovereigns in that weren't in either of the first 2 auctions, and another smattering of kind of like really interesting cards. So the first 2 auction, the first and third auction, are kind of a intro, here's how it works. The second auction being, here's the best of the best of the best.
I'm sure that T206 collectors around the world are going to be very excited about these offerings coming up. I really want to thank you too for choosing us and allowing us to present this amazing collection to collectors around the world. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Chris.